Right, condition levers fully forward. Flaps. Stage 1. Takeoff. Let's bring the power in. We're not going very quick. We have got a slight downhill run, but the grass is pretty high friction. Try and get the nose off. If we can. Holy smoke, this doesn't want to go. Oh boy, we just about cleared that tree. Like, seriously. Oh my god. That, if that was for real, I think your heart would be in your mouth. Yikes. Yeah, new trousers time, exactly. Not an ideal place to take a king out of that. Let's get the climb on. Yeah, like if we'd have had more fuel on board, for example, that would have hit a tree, basically. Never noticed this thing has like a luggage window though. Hey, wait a minute. That's not a luggage window. This thing has like cheeky seating. What's going on here? What's this like executive seat for? Why does one person get to sit here facing sideways on their own with their own little bookshelf? And if they want to, they can have like a lie down here. What? Let's have a little lie down. The worst part about this seating arrangement is that you can potentially face people that you don't want to talk to. Like in commercial airliners, all the seats face one way. The idea of having somebody face, like being on a train, isn't it? Like somebody facing you. You have to play footsie with somebody in front. That was not a toilet. Dude, you can't go there. That wasn't a toilet. That was a seat. Use that as a toilet, and people are going to smell it. You don't have a stewardess, there's not enough people. There's those hitboxes again. spec says bathroom and Wi-Fi is standard. Blimey. Yeah, apparently that is a toilet. I don't know. It doesn't look like one from here. But... So what are we saying? That Microsoft just didn't model the toilet then? Jplay, thank you for 2 months. On Sims have adjusted all the Kingers down to 9 packs. You may have to adjust your job search criteria if you're still at 11. Well, don't forget there's an economy seat on the toilet as well. So technically you've got 10. They have a seatbelt over the toilet. Well, it will be descending pretty soon. You can't believe people were cheating in Honor. Don't see the point. Dude, people cheat in everything. Who said you have to give up your seat, YFG? Look, think of it this way. If you get the economy seat, right? If you get the toilet seat, the economy seat, and then somebody wants to use the toilet, I'd say you're in a strong position. In other words, you can get your money back by charging, you know, to get up. You say, well, you know, I'll let you use this seat for 10 minutes, but that's going to cost you. If you played it right, you could virtually get your flight for free, I reckon. The only problem is when you sit back on it, obviously it's warm. You know, you get that... It's warm from somebody else. It's not the most pleasant seat in the world, but you could make it pay. You've been watching since the BF 3 days. Welcome back, dude. Beige leather is optimistic on such a seat. Yeah, they should have gone for dark brown. Why are we talking about this? That's true. That's true. You could actually switch seats, yeah. The last one has the toilet seat. That's it. That would be a very interesting experience, wouldn't it? So imagine this, right? You've got a King Air flight, and you've got 9 seats, or whatever it is. Nine seats have a certain price, and then one of the seats is half the price. So you volunteer to go on the special seat at a reduced price. But when somebody wants to use the bathroom, you get to swap seats, right? So then, yeah, so the dilemma always then is you either hold it or you get stuck with that seat until somebody else can't hold it anymore. That would make for a very interesting dynamic, I think. Because once you take the seat, you sit in the seat. So you know that when you come in, when you're descending down to your destination, and there's always like toilet rush that happens. Imagine that. It becomes a game of roulette then. Are you going to be the last one? Because you're going to have to land on that seat if you are. Battle Royale flush. What does the pilot do? That's the question. What if the pilot has to go, and then he has to be the one to stay in the seat? Yeah. That's a whole nother problem, isn't it? Rock, paper, scissors. Same rule, the toilet seat guy becomes a captain. Uh-oh. I see a problem with that. It's a bit bumpy. I'm trying to work out what planes to fly later around Norway. I don't know. Well, let's have a look through the list. Ibanez, I've seen that video. I think, if I remember, the guy who had the heart attack, he didn't actually die or something. But yeah, he had to. I think he was already a student pilot though. You'd fire the hell out of this Kinga, but last time you tried it, you couldn't even get both engines running. What? It's been working okay for me. Go through the checklist. Have you had a chance to watch N24? What's N24? Ninja Cat, thank you for 28 months, sir. You even cheated, you hit Control E. So why can't you fly then? Oh, the Nürburgring 24 hours? No. No, I've been working all weekend. Why have you guys got so many problems with the Kinga? I don't get it. Welcome back, J-Plate. Look at that crab angle. That's how bad the wind is. Not that we can visualize the wind. You have to be at 2300 at Fetov. Reinstall right now because Squirrel doesn't have any of those issues. Oh, they need to fix that hitbox. Tips of starting out on flight sim, you want to fly airliners. Why me? Start small, I guess. I have some tutorials that might help you. Wow, it just blasted straight through the approach. Fair enough. It didn't capture at all. Oh, now it had... Wait, what? What the heck? It went right... Like, the glide slope went right through. It didn't capture at all. So it went V-speed and then it captured. And then... But it's not. What's it doing? On ILS, yeah, but you'd have to tune the frequency for the ILS. You've already submitted a bug for it. Do you think £8,000 is enough for people? Wait, what? Nikki, I don't understand the question. I think it's following the glide path. It kind of says it is, but part of me is not trusting this. Capture the altitude, then approach clearance, then approach mode. Does ATC give me ILS frequency? No, you need to look on the chart for ILS frequency. They'll never give you that. You mean for minimum requirements like 45 hours on first pass? Wait, are you talking about a PPL now? You need to budget between 8 and 10k, I'd say. Because, you know, you're going to need... You probably want to get your own headset. There's going to be books that you need to buy. There may be more hours you need to do. You may fail some exams. Like, you don't know what the variables are. Wow, is that an electric pylon? As if there's an electric pylon. Oh my god, look at that. Right on the glide path. I don't think that should be there. Come on, floaty, let's go.
Landing time logged. Landed at Kilo Hotel Uniform Fox, Terre Haute RGNL.
Future electric planes. What, so they can get a little charge on the way in? Seems busy here today. Should we fly a turboprop for the MP flight since it's 5 hours or 110 knots? Taz, I create these routes with no expectation of actually finishing them. I'd rather have too many. We get as far as we get, basically. Pull up over here.
Engine off time logged. End of flight, registered in on-air company.
That was a relocation flight. Was it busy when you flew at Southend? I live near it and always have EasyJet going over. Southend's a lot quieter than it usually is, but when I flew over it, radio was reasonably busy, but it was, you know, I've known it busier. It was okay. So now I need to go to VA management so that I can then find a job. From, what was this place called? K Huff or something. Yeah, Hasselhoff. Had the triangle window whistle. Dude, that's annoying. Let's see, what's that one? 51 grand to go a boring direction. 48 grand to go to Virginia. 47 grand to go boring direction. 39 grand to go there. Maybe we take this one, some empty pallets. No, not that one. This one. Printed magazines. Keep taking printed magazines. Get paid 47 grand for that. To go to Charlotte. Well, I've got an hour and 20. Can we make that? I don't think we can. 465. I think it's a bit far. We can do about 300 knots maximum in an hour. I think that's a little bit too far. That's 265, 31 grand. Let's take that. Takeoff to KFNT. So, having taken that, if I go back to my company, go into here, I see, food crates to KFNT. So that's now a company job, but it appears in here for me. Interesting. I think we'll have the $5 a gallon, thank you very much. Barry D, thanks for 40 months. Might as well get some fuel while it's relatively cheap. Doesn't seem to say it's a VA job. Yeah, but the VA created the job. The VA took the job, didn't it? So I think this is how it works. Because the VA took that job, and then I switched back to my company and said, and loaded it in my plane, I believe that now becomes a company job. I think. This is the first one I've done though, so I'm not 100%. It's also green, yeah, which I take it means something. Green jobs are VA jobs, there you go. Grab that. KFNT was it? $265, yeah, seems about right.
Happy anniversary, Natter.
KFNT. I'm just going to go for a buyer break while that loads. Nearly lost my chocolate Freddo underneath the rig. Not good. Oh yeah. Right, loaded. Quite nice, isn't it, Jack Sims?
Engaging autopilot.
Happy anniversary, Nutter.
Opinion on magic, do you think it's real? Most magic is illusion. Or sleight of hand. Joe Mill, thank you for 52 months. Mr. Townsy, thank you very much for subbing. Welcome to Nut House. Jack Swims, Squirrel, got any jobs going?
TAWS system test. Okay.
I love it.
Happy anniversary, Nutter.
What's the option here to just clear the flight plan? It's really weird. A Freddo bar and a cup of tea is one of life's combinations. Not that I have a cup of tea, but I'm just saying. Elevation 768 feet. One thing I do like about this touchscreen, though, is the fact that you can basically zoom out and have a good look around the flight plan. I do like that. Why do you spend so much money on all this stuff? I don't know. You could ask the same question to anybody that has a hobby. That's what they do. You spend money on the things you like. This is no different. Right, procedure. We're going to go procedure into the RNF1F with the... Procedure was the RNAV 18. Oh, wait a minute. That's not right. Wait, how do you get back a screen? VOR 18. That's what I wanted. VOR 18. Oh, no, that's messy. We'll not do that. It's going to take too long. Can anyone else smell the troll? I don't smell the troll. RNAV 18. Transition. There's not enough transitions here. There's supposed to be. Burrs, Fibbin, Juba, Nyepu, and Owasso. There's supposed to be an Owasso transition, which isn't here. So we'll have to go with that one. There's like a waypoint here called a Wasso, and it's supposed to come in that way. That's a bit weird. Yes, I am tracking. There we go. So 200 and... Wait, what distance? Oh yeah, 265. Let's go a bit higher this time. Let's go to... Should we go to 19,000 for the lols? Right, we're going to need a pushback, I think. Right, lights are on. Fuel is loaded. Condition levers, prop levers. Probably right, Shatter Mage.
Your flight will be
Oh,
monitored
God.
until you land and shut down the engines.
Why were they in the full forward position? There's something severely wrong with these hitboxes. You just end up like, you're moving the camera around. Look, you see? Literally didn't do anything, it just did that. That's with the right click. That's not even the left click, that's the right click. It's so weird. You know you're just feeding the trolls, though, when you say things like that. Trolls want attention, so you're giving them attention. Kranakian, thank you for 44. Oh my god. Stop. Go away. Okay, so we're going to taxi... It's an interesting taxiway. So I take it we go this way and across the runway here and go through that way. Looks like it. I don't know, Jack Sims. You sell your trim wheel for like 200, and then I think Muttley bought one for like under 100. So you did pretty well. Right, taxi lights are on.
Welcome
For some reason, control space is not pushing me back into the default position. It's a bit weird. I'll do it. Shane, welcome back. The bus has arrived. Okay, there's something weird going on with Track IO right now.
Happy anniversary, Natter.
That's better. Yeah, when you put things in chat, try not to use full stops too much, because if you use like a letter, full stop letter, it thinks it's a link. And if you use 3 dots, it thinks it's spam. Thank you, Sean. I don't know. I love you giving me Amazon's money as well. It feels like a bit of kickback from Amazon.
Happy anniversary, Natter.
People spend a lot of money on hobbies, Chattermage, that's for sure. I know people who spent like 30, 50k on a 747 cockpit, you know? Some people, what they'll do though is they'll build a sim, they'll build like a 747 cockpit, and then they'll basically rent it out to people that want to come and use it. So they get the money back that way. It's not like an amazing business proposition, but it pays for itself. USMC Vet, thank you for 37 months. Did you figure out the problem? Well, we've been flying for 4 hours and it's not crashed yet. There are 2 things I've not got running right now that I did have running. One is spad.next and the other is the air server. You know, the thing that shows you my iPad. I've not got those running. Yesterday I did do an update to the Visual C++ libraries on my machine, and I also told Microsoft Flight Sim to repair itself, which you can do in the Windows app settings. So it could be those things. But since it's stable, I'm just going to leave it for now. I'm quite happy with it being stable. Right, let's see. Cycle flight director, we're going to go into nav mode, V-speed mode, 1,000 feet. Altitude is set, barrow is set, yaw dampers off, flaps good, trim set for takeoff. Let's go. You want a cup of tea, but all the mugs need washing, you're being lazy. Let me tell you the solution, Jack Sims. Just get your hot water Chuck it in your cup, swish it round, chuck it away, make a cup of tea. Good to go. Alright, gears up, flaps up. Quite noisy planes though, these, aren't they? These twin engine props. It tastes better in a tea stained cup. It's only the same as what they do in like Chinese restaurants in the kitchen. They don't wash in between making things in a wok. They leave it because the wok flavors the next one. That's what they do. So you know, your stained cup will flavor your next tea. Good times. Sounds a bit nasty. What's VY for this thing? Does anybody know? What's the best climb speed? Plan C, buy £40 worth of Waitrose coffee cups. Nah. 180 knots. Well, we're doing 1800 feet per minute. If we go 2000 feet per minute and see what the speed looks like. King Airs 100s have Garrett engines which are geared turboprops and about twice as loud. Jeez. Yeah, that would be very loud. You can do. What? I didn't hear you. What? Quiet? Yeah, I was just looking for something. Well, it seems to cope with 2000 feet per minute just fine. Chips tasted better when they cooked the fish in the same oil. I agree with that. Ice protection auto. The prop sync button doesn't work either. So I do nothing and this thing just appears. Look. Like if I right click, look, this bar here, if I right click on this bar, right click, never mind left click, and if I left click nothing happens, if I right click that happens. So every time you're moving the camera around that happens. It's frustrating. Have you ever experienced a sensor MFD turning off randomly? Not yet, thankfully. This timer on anyway. I don't remember putting the timer on. Outside air temperature. Nice. Where do you adjust the barometric pressure on this thing? I'm just looking for the dial that adjusts the baro. I can see there's one here. Does that do both of them? Does that do the standby and the main one? Man, this thing performs. You can't, you have to press B. Are you sure? Looks like that works to me. Don't know if it's setting that one or not. $11,600, $11,400. So this is purely a standby one then. If I press B, it resets both of them. It's really weird. As far as I know, it's broken. Yeah, but where's the control knob for it? I don't even see a baro dial around here. No, the menu button's in up. Touchscreen down by your seat. Baro. Ah, there it is. That's in up. So's that, so's that. Oh my god. So if you wanted to fly this online, you'd have a lot of difficulty because you're not able to set the baro. You can only press the B key and hope that what you get ties up with what they've got. Oh my god. Is anybody doing a mod for this thing that improves it? You know how they've got like there's a mod for the A320 now. Is anybody doing one for this that fixes issues? There is one. It's on Nexus. Who's developing it? There's a mod for everything. We're almost at cruise. You wish they'd all collect in the same place. Yeah, but they're all done by different teams and stuff, aren't they? Yeah, I'm using the mod that removes tooltips. That's a nice one to have. Mr. Valio, thank you for almost a year. Thanks for the fun and dedication. Thank you, dude. Mr. MK Don's almost on 4 years. You remove tooltips and settings? No, you need a mod for it. Vrome just shared it, Kalku. Vrome literally just pasted it. Will there be a squirrel logistics skin? There is one. It's that, well. It has two skins, which are blacketed. One for the Kingo, one for the Caravan. We're doing 220 knots, but we're doing a ground speed of 316. That's pretty good going. We got our fuel flow down to 55 now. Nice. Waypoint is OKK. And then after that, we'll start planning a descent. It's not bad, is it? It's quite a speedy little thing, this. The Caravan's a single-engine Cessna. Using the foreflight, you can probably see it from that camera. It's down here. Normally I have the air server so I can show you on here, but for now I've just not run it. I'm just, because yesterday we had a lot of crashes and I'm trying to make sure it's stable again. And it's been stable all stream, but if I run the air server now then it crashes, it'll ruin the flight, so it's not worth it. But yeah, normally I have this up there. But yeah, I need to just check the charts out here. Because we're going in on the RNAV 18, was it? Yeah, RNAV 18 via Nupi. So we probably want to be at Nupi at about 4,000 and then get down to Juba at 3,100 according to this chart. Yeah, so I've ordered the honeycomb throttle, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this stuff out of here. All of this is going to come out, and then I'm going to try and mount the throttle here somehow, and then put things back accordingly. That stream deck's going to have to move from there to have a throttle quadrant like there. I'm going to have to mount it on the side. There's an upright down here that you can't see. I'm going to have to try and mount it on that upright. But it has to clamp onto something. So I'm going to need to probably use an extrusion bar and put it on a pivot. Because it needs to be able to mount on something there. So I try and get the throttle here. And then that needs to move somewhere. So maybe two of them here, I'm not sure yet how I'm going to do this. And then the iPad's a problem, but then this can come out because I don't need this if I'm using that throttle quadrant. So once that's out the way, maybe the iPad can go here, or put the keyboard down and put the iPad there. I just don't know yet. Just don't know how I'm going to lay it out. But once these move out the way, potentially I can put the Logitech flight panels there. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, it's taken a while, Chateau-Mage, to get to the point where I'm, you know, happy with how it works. But I kind of feel like it's still evolving a bit yet. It's not set in stone. the iPad on the yoke like in real life. It doesn't really work on the honeycomb. The honeycomb's like torsional resistance is not like real life. So if you put the iPad on it, and then when you go to turn the yoke like that, the iPad has enough weight to cause the yoke to do that, which is not ideal. I've not tried in a while, Floating Fat Man. The rudder pedals are easy. Like, the rudder pedals are mounted on a plate. So to change rudder pedals to driving pedals is literally 4 bolts. That's all it is. 4 bolts and they're in. To swap this, you undo. You know, the honeycomb is like the honeycomb mounts on a circular plate, and then it has some height adjusters that give it tension. So I'd probably leave that on, undo these things down here, and just pull the whole thing off the deck, because it's literally on the deck. And then you'd put the Fanatec back on. The Fanatec is attached by 3 bolts. So you probably, to switch that over is probably like 10 or 15 minutes. But the problem is if I put the honeycomb throttle over here, once I get rid of the shifter from there, that makes it hard to drive. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with the shifter. I need some kind of quick release mechanism for the shifter. A way of putting it on and off quickly. Yeah, so the Thrustmaster is going to come out of here. The Thrustmaster stick is going to have to come out of here as well. Because there's just not enough room for this. I can't, you know, you need movement. You need to be able to do... Oh, that's still wide in. That never happened. You know, if you've got a throttle quadrant here, there's no way that stick can sit there. So that has to come out. There's no choice over that. Catty. Gonna need 2 setups, dude. This room is not big enough for 2 setups. But you'd have another problem then. You'd have to start messing about with rewiring monitor cables into different computers and then plugging different USB sockets in. Get a KVM. That won't solve the USB problem. Hey, Wackaday, how you doing, sir? What will you do with the throttle and stick? I don't know, Fatty. It won't be on the rig. I don't think I'll sell it, because I do like the Warthog throttle and stick, and I don't really want to sell it in case things change, you know? Because when it comes to flying DCS and stuff, throttle and stick is still the best way to go. But there's going to be nowhere to put it. There's not enough room on the rig for everything. There's only so much I can put here. Mean def, I've heard that it's not that great, to be honest. Why is it not flying the... Okay. It's a little bit off track there. So I want to be down at 4,000 with the next altitude. And then we've got 5 nautical miles to descend 1,000 and slow down. So I think about 50 nautical out from here. 50 nautical away we'll start descending. Having them chair or table mounted. I mean, the problem is, Fatty, you've got to get them into a position where you can use them. And with a stick, like I say, you've got to be able to move it around. Rainbows have always been a thing in Microsoft Flight Sim Chimoff. Like in one of my very early videos, the preview release, I was playing around with the weather settings and the wind setting. Actually, I know which one it was. I think. Was it the one where I was talking about airspeed? And I was playing around with the settings and literally a rainbow appeared. Nice one, Jack Sims. You must be proud. Wow, Barrow's changed. Oh, it's gone standard. Interesting. Because we've gone over 18,000. I don't feel like that Rex thing is gonna... I don't feel like it's... I've not tried it, but I don't feel like it's gonna bring enough benefits compared to the downsides from what I've heard, which, you know, snapping weather in. I don't like that. Mr. Imp, I can't believe that's been 22 months, dude. Good afternoon to you. Navigraph on your iPad. I don't... Actually, I use Navigraph desktop client. I don't tend to use it on the iPad because I don't... This is the iPad I use for IRL flying, and I don't fly instrument, so I don't need it. Navigraph. I don't think it tells me the true airspeed. Oh, it does. 292 knots true airspeed, with a ground speed of 326. Well, Rex never worked very well on X-Plane for me. Mace, dude, how you doing? 46 months, wish it could be all in a row. Glad to see you're still going strong though, thank you. Some names I've not heard for a while. So according to this, will be fully descended in about 30 minutes. So we should be landing at about 5 PM, so that's decent timing. I'll give the sim a bounce. Get loaded in for Norway. You've been using Rex on Microsoft Flight Sim so far, and it's amazing. That's interesting. So you've not had any, like, weather snapping in and that kind of thing? Seems like a $20 weather patch. I think that's a fair assessment. What do you do with cabin pressure warning in the Kinga? I don't think I've ever had to worry about cabin pressure in the Kinga yet, but all the cabin stuff is down here, isn't it? So you've got your rate, which I don't even know if it does anything or not. Cabin altitude. So aircraft altitude's on the inside. So at 30,000 feet, it's going to give you a cabin pressure inside of about 8,000 is what that's saying. So in theory, somebody at 20,000 feet, you could scroll that to there. But who knows? The only aircraft that gives you cabin pressure issues is TBM. On the TBM, there's a switch that says auto and max differential. If you put it on max, because the TBM climbs so quickly, it doesn't pressurize the cabin quickly enough. So you can put it on max and hopefully it will stabilize better. Either that or just climb slower. Those executives don't need much air. The executives are full of hot air anyway. I don't know, Ethan. I don't think I'm going to bother with it. I've always subscribed to the view that the more mods you have, the more unstable things generally become. So do I really need an external weather injection engine? Because the moment my sim crashes, I'll be thinking, is it Rex doing that or not? There's no trial for it. Well, Rex used to be good for textures, but Microsoft Flight Sim Cloud textures, I don't really feel like they need any work. I'm quite happy with the clouds in Microsoft Flight Sim. I think they're some of the best in any flight sim. Well, yeah, it's an interesting point, Wackaday. Like, what's Active Sky up to? Just make you wonder. Maybe they'll just ignore the platform. What plane do we recommend for group flight? I don't know. I'm thinking I'll probably... Most of the runways are... None of them are like super short really, so you should be fine in most things. It's always a problem is like flying at the slowest speed of the slowest plane. I'd say given the distance we want to be... We need to be doing over 100 knots, really. So I'd say at the very least, like a Cessna 172, at the very least. I wouldn't go 152. That's going to be too slow. Exclamation mark route. It's literally in the title, Pyroblaster. Dimple, how you doing? Taking out the glider for a quick spin. First time... What, you bought a glider? Nice. What about the Robin? Cruise speed on the... That's a DR400, isn't it? So... Yeah, you might be alright with the Robin. I don't think the Robin has any autopilot, though, if you're looking to get autopilot. Well, Floating Fat Man, I think there's an option that you can turn on, or turn off, which is something like match, what was it now? Match aircraft model or something. And I think if you turn it off, as I have it off now, then you won't see the 747 potentially, I'm not sure. Rhino, the reason I don't run full widescreen is because there's no point, you won't see it. It's just extra pixels to draw that none of you see. It's pointless. No, I have not bought a King Air. Have you seen how much they cost, Wackaday? This thing cost me 30,000 for a deposit and 3,000 an hour to fly. I have not bought one of these. They cost a fortune. I've only just brought some money in. Because I funded the VA with 100 grand, I was running out of money on my personal on-air account. So I just completed a job this afternoon, got 120 grand for that. But I've cost the company about 10 grand in flying fees because I've been flying. As I found out in on-air, if you fly, if the VA rents a plane and then somebody else flies it and doesn't do a VA job, the VA picks up the tab for it, which is a bit of a nightmare. You want a TBM? The TBMs are cheaper, but they don't carry as much. I do like flying the TBM though. It's a real joy to fly. How's it been to fly so far? I'm getting used to it now. It was a bit of a handful at first because it flies quite differently. But there's more to do. The vertical profiling of the autopilot isn't very good. It can do crazy stuff, so you have to hold its hand a little bit. But it stops very quickly, it takes off very slowly. So you could easily land this thing in an airfield that you can't get out of. Well, this is a problem, Soapy Sage. This is the problem, dude. There's no option currently to say a VA plane can only be used on a VA job. There's no option to do that. Which I'm going to feed back to them and say, look, this is a potential problem. Well, indeed, Floating Fat Man. I mean, for now, we're just bringing subs into the VA, but we need to be very careful about, you know, VA planes and you can select who can fly the plane though. So by default, nobody can fly this plane unless one of the management goes in and says you can fly this plane. And at that point, you're on trust, aren't you? Because you could quite easily cost the VA a lot of money. Yeah, totally bankrupt the company. So I would like to see them add an option to say that, you know, as well as saying this person can fly this plane, an option to say this person can fly this plane only if they're doing a VA job. And that way you minimize the problems. So they can't just rent it and not fly a VA job. You definitely want to set others to flight during the week though, or parking fees. That is true. That is true. But then you end up with a different problem, Floating Fat Man, right? So when I come to fly it again, the plane is like 400 miles away. I might as well just not rent it, just stop renting it. And then when I start again, just find another plane. $107. Fuel's fine. Fuel flow's fine. Engines are fine. All good. Old Time Horse. Good name. Thank you for subbing. Welcome. I don't know what plane I'm going to fly. I'm still pondering that. I think I might go for the deluxe Cessna 172. The non-G1000 version. It's got a reasonable turn of pace. And it's got autopilot and stuff, so maybe that. They're revamping the VA system, I hope so. Because the way it works is a bit weird. Well, not so much weird, it's dangerous. It kind of makes it very difficult for people to allow people into the VA that they don't know very well. Like in FS economy, people can cost you money, but not to the extent that they can just bankrupt your company. Am I enjoying it, Wackaday? Yeah, but it does need some fixes, you know. Wait, where's the plane? Shouldn't there be like a plane icon here? Weird. With On Air, is it one subscription for multiple sims? I believe so, yeah. Yeah. I think you can connect it to whatever you want. You've been flying it all day, currently using the Baron. Is higher altitude always better? So, the thing is about a higher altitude, Shogun, is the air's thinner, which essentially allows the plane to move quicker. Yeah, the air is thick at the ground level, and it gets thinner and thinner and thinner until eventually there's no atmosphere and it goes into space. So the higher you fly, the thinner the atmosphere that you're flying through, so you have less friction, so you can get through it a lot faster. That's why you fly high. It's much more efficient, but then you get other problems come in, cabin pressure being one of them, and then fuel mixture, because there's less oxygen to burn. Which is why planes have like recommended cruise altitudes and then a maximum ceiling beyond which they can't fly. Kush, welcome back. Yeah, there's also the aspects of wind. I mean, the wind is an interesting one, because you can have a headwind and then you go up like 5,000 feet and then suddenly find yourself with a tailwind. So, particularly on long haul flights, they'll sometimes just change altitude just so that they get a better wind. Not really, Shogun. Most caravans don't go to that high usually. I mean, a lot depends on your distance as well. If you're not flying very far, you're not going to fly very high. Looks like Rex took some folks for their money. The WX Force is absolute garbage. It's weird. Some people are coming in here saying that it's working well for them. Others are saying it's garbage. Some people are saying it's not worth it. Like, I don't know what to think. Does it say a 50-minute session time? It says it's still connected, if that's what you mean. "13 nautical until we start descending." We're doing 333 knots ground speed right now. Flying, man. Electric aircraft will perform well at altitude. So here's the thing, right? As you probably know, batteries do not like cold temperatures. And then when you get up to high altitudes, you've got to heat the cabin because it's cold up there. And you've also got to heat the batteries, because if you don't, they'll go cold, and then they don't perform very well. They don't hold their charge when they're cold. So, with like a combustion engine, you're generating heat as a byproduct, which is great because you can heat the cabin with it. But when you're up there with an electric engine, with batteries, you've got to use electricity to heat the plane, and use electricity to heat the batteries, and use electricity to propel yourself. And the more batteries you have, the more weight you have, etc. I think it's going to be a very interesting problem that they have to solve. And I've got pizza. Has anybody been watching the Ewan McGregor, Charlie Borman, Long Way Up series on Apple TV? Because they used electric bikes, and boy have they had problems with electric bikes, because they started in South Chile in the winter, and the range on the batteries was horrendous. Because the batteries were cold, they couldn't charge them. It was like one day they went to charge it overnight, and it didn't charge anything because the battery was too cold. Right now, it's -8, which is quite warm. You start going up higher than this, you're going down 1.8 Celsius for every 1,000 feet. It gets cold pretty quickly, and batteries don't like that. And neither do people inside the cabin. They want warming up as well. So you're going to need electric heaters to warm up the cabin. And electric heaters take a lot of power. This is not pineapple on pizza. This is a vegetarian pizza, so it's got peppers, onions and stuff. There's no pineapple on it.